It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. Today, I want to tell you a story about two friends. We're going to call them Adam and Bobby. So, one day while on vacation exploring a forest, these two guys saw a bear coming towards them. Now, they'd known each other for years, so naturally, their first instinct would have been to help each other out, right? So, they were both frightened. And Bobby, who knew how to climb trees, climbed one very quickly. He didn't even spare a thought for his friend and didn't realize that his friend had no idea how to climb a tree. Adam thought quickly for a moment and said, I've heard once on an animal wildlife show that animals don't attack dead bodies. So he quickly fell to the ground and held his breath for as long as he could. The bear approached him and sniffed him and thought he was dead and went on his way. So Bobby thought for a moment. He said, "What just happened?" And he climbed down from the tree and he asked Adam, "So, what did the bear whisper in your ear?" And Adam replied, "The bear advised me that I should keep away from friends like you." Interesting, because in the heat of the moment, we always make decisions, and sometimes the decisions that we make may not be in the best interest of all parties involved. In this case, obviously, you know, I don't know that they were both in their right frame of mind. It was an emergency situation. Maybe they didn't know what to do. I mean, hopefully I'd never been in a situation like that before. But I think the point here is just more of a broken heart than anything. And sometimes I think that when we deal with people, we're quick to judge or we're quick to make decisions or we don't take certain things into consideration or we find ourselves in a position where we can make a world of difference with one good decision, but with one poor decision, we could break a long lasting friendship and relationship. So, in this Agile, Not So Agile episode this Friday, I thought I'd point out just a couple of tips that I learned throughout my life to really help me zoom in, hone in, and focus on what it means to be a good friend. And I think the very first thing the very first tip, the very first piece of advice I would offer is that good friends have two ears and one mouth. They know that even though they have lots to say, that it's ultra important that they listen. And I think that sometimes we fail to listen. And when we fail to listen, we make judgments, we say things, we do things, and we end up in a situation where we could be hurting ourselves and hurting our friends. If I had to offer a second piece of advice, it would be to always, always, always be on the lookout for those people who are closest to you and to help them in any way that you can, even in a dire situation like this. I think the odds of survival would have dramatically increased if the two of them would have worked together to figure out a best solution. Now, I realize time is of the essence, but at the same time, finding and working together and understanding each other's capabilities would have been a lot easier for both of them to figure out what a good solution for escape would have been. Finally, I think that if you're a good friend, that you're going to take the time necessary to uplift other people. And what I mean by that is, it takes time, and there might not have been any way that he knew that his buddy didn't know how to climb. But I would say that it's important for you to take advantage of the opportunity and to try to understand and position yourself in the other person's shoes so that you can learn and grow together. I know that for a number of years, I've helped people learn how to do things that they thought were impossible. And likewise, I've learned things from my friends. And what I can tell you is that nobody's perfect. Nobody makes every decision perfectly right. But my hope is that over time, that we can become better listeners, that we can become better people, that we can behave differently, and that we can help uplift all those around us. So, my thought for today is find a way to uplift a friend, find a way to create a communication, find a way to work together to solve a common goal. One of the big things that I've seen lately are escape rooms, and a lot of people are doing those. And I think it sounds like a blast. It sounds fun because it gives you an opportunity to work together to solve a goal. And it gives you an opportunity to really get into the head of how other people think so that you can work together to solve complex problems. So I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope that this uplifted you and inspired you. And until next time, I encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.